You are here today
Hello, everyone.
with the Glasses crew.
It's pretty sunny.
It's hot out today, but unlike our content, which is not full of hot air, Arizona is.
Welcome everyone to Monday's live stream. We've been doing these Monday live streams for a little bit less than a month right now. On Monday, we talk specifically about Mount Kilimanjaro, about the mountain, preparing for the mountain, everything you need to know about that mountain if it's an adventure that you are curious about. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're just gonna wait for a little bit here to see if we will have any folks joining, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
In the meantime, I will show off my fancy shirt. I hope it's not backwards for you. It's backwards for me.
It's a pretty nice t-shirt. I made this one. Honestly, we had no intentions to talk about the t-shirt today, but since we're talking about it, I had I had the pair. Mine says I am here for the mountains, and then Alex's says I am here for her, which is pretty cool. And then mine is orange, and then his is blue. We've got them on our website Teespring, in case you're curious. I had no intentions of sharing this, but I was like, oh, he's wearing it, so why not?
Some shameless / impromptu
Yeah.
Amazon affiliate stuff, or what is this? What
It's
is this? Our own site?
Teesprings.
Teesprings, is that?
Teespring, yeah. I created it a long time ago. But anyway, today we are going to talk specifically about how to prepare physically for Mount Kilimanjaro. There are so many other things that you have to prepare for to climb the mountain, but we will focus on physical preparation to climb Kilimanjaro, just a couple of things that we learned and a couple of things that we are doing, and hopefully they are going to help you if it's an adventure that you are interested in, or if you are interested on doing any big climb of that magnitude.
Sure. And I've already got a couple of extra bonus preparation things. I'll sneak in at the end.
So just to get things started right here, I already see one person joining, and then, hey Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Hello. I see 2 thumbs up, so thank you guys for that. But we're gonna, since we have 30 minutes for these Monday live streams, we're going to try to keep this simple, and we're going to break physical activity into 3 categories. We will talk about strength training, strength training, endurance training, and then cardiovascular training. 3 main categories, and then we would, just give some examples of things that you should do.
Definitely. I guess we get started with strength then. In this case, this is going to be, I'm going to actually let you define it so that I don't run wild with it. But
yeah, so basically, and in one of our previous live streams, we talked about the mountain, and we talked about the routes to get up to the mountain. So typically, in order for you to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, it will take a couple of days for you to get to the top of the mountain, between 5 to 6 days, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter, depending on the route that you are choosing. But you're gonna be hiking for a long period of time, for many days, and it's day after day after day after day. So really, when we talk about strength, we want to make sure that you can walk for an extended amount of time. You can just keep going and keep going day after day. So that would be obviously by either going on some long hikes, if you have hiking trails that are, accessible to you, or you could go to the gym and then just walk long hours on the treadmill to build that strength.
And for me with the strength stuff, it's a matter of putting a lot of the bags and a lot of the weight that I have on there with me. Some of the stuff that I noticed most recently, we tried out a couple of different bags because we want to make sure that when we're training, we're still trying to recreate the situation that we're going to have when we're on the mountain. So even though we might be doing a smaller hike, I'll have a pretty full bag. Habiba and I have been to the gym where we'll fill up. And the other day, we were taking a camera with a zoom lens, and the zoom lens is pretty big and pretty heavy. And we like to use these Peak Design clips that you can put on your belt, or you can put on your backpack straps. And it was really tugging down on the right side, and that spot, just knowing that was there, was something for me. But we also started to weigh our bags, and we know that the other day mine weighed 26 pounds when I was going, which let's be honest is a little heavy, but that's something I did on purpose. But we have all of our stuff that we need when we go to the gym. We'll make sure that we also are walking uphill. We're trying to recreate some of that environment so that we can do leg workouts, and then you've also got your other training things.
So that's kind of Alex is touching here on the endurance training, really making sure that not only you have the strength of walking for an extended amount of time, but there will be a lot of stress on your lower back, on your shoulders, on your knees, and you want to kind of recreate the situation that you're going to be in when you are in the mountains. So if you go hiking outside, you want to take a backpack with the same amount of weight that you're going to be carrying, same shoes, even same hiking clothes. And like I said, if you don't have access to trail, you could just go to the gym, use the incline and just walk for a long period of time with your hiking clothes, with your hiking shoes, and with a backpack on with some weight.
I would definitely agree there with use the same clothing that you're going to use. I've said it a few times kind of in a joking manner, but really like the right socks, the right underwear, the right pants, the right shirt, the right hat, everything. If you walk in it for a while, you will get familiar with the things that bug you and don't bug you about your equipment. That might not be strength exactly, but that's something that you can get while you're doing those other workouts.
Yeah. Hey Mike, just saw a comment from you. So we're really just talking about how to train for Mount Kilimanjaro. We touched on the importance of endurance training, and then strength training, and then lastly cardiovascular training.
Sure, and a lot of these mix together. For the cardiovascular, for me, I would say nothing beats getting on the mountain. For us, one of the things we're trying to do is prepare for the high altitude in the way that we have to work hard while we're at altitude. And you might see some videos online where they'll take someone's pulse ox, or they'll use a pulse oximeter, they'll stick a little thing on someone's finger, they'll try to check your blood oxygen content. Really, you want to make sure that your heart can pump enough blood around your system to get oxygen to the parts of your body that need them. So we're trying to make sure that we can do some high heart rate workouts. Something that we haven't checked into, but we know people have them, are oxygen deprivation masks that you can put on. I think they're just a little bit outside of my budget. Yeah, a little extreme.
Yes.
But they're definitely something that can help prepare you for that as well.
Yeah.
But nothing beats being exhausted at elevation while doing the rest of this stuff. So
yeah, so definitely I mean, to keep it simple, just on the treadmill, try to run, try to get some cardiovascular exercise to run, because when you're going to be up in the mountain, not only you're dealing with the hiking for long periods of time, but also high altitude, thin air, and you want to make sure that your heart is going to be able to handle all of that stress.
And I will say, one of the things that I've been concerned about myself, and we got to address a little bit this weekend while we were out hiking. You don't only have to go up the mountain, you also have to go down.
Yeah.
And to have ankle strength, in that case knee strength, or for that matter your back strength, because when you're coming down, even having the right equipment via hiking poles and such, and these are pieces of equipment that assist you in expressing the right level of strength and such. It's kind of hard to divorce all of these things from each other. But to have that practice going downhill as well, I found out the other day that treadmills in our gym actually do go at a decline. Not as far as they go on an incline, but then you can practice walking downhill as well, and some of that stress on your knees and your ankles. And even if you have uneven footing, to have the right shoes and such too, and to make sure that you've got the mental sort of stamina.
Yeah.
To pick good spots to put your feet and be aware of where you're walking all the time. You really only get by being exhausted or by doing some longer things and then testing yourself, or then doing the workout, but all different mentalities.
Yeah, definitely strength, endurance, and cardiovascular training are all important, but like Alex said, nothing beats being on an actual high mountain, because talking about Mount Kilimanjaro specifically, you're pretty high up, so if you're not used to being at high altitude, I think it's important to take the time to travel somewhere with high elevation and do a little bit of hiking, just to kind of understand how your body handle it, because some people can handle the elevation pretty well. Some people start struggling at 10,000 feet. Some people start struggling at 12,000 feet. Some people are okay with the elevation. It really just depends. It doesn't impact all people. It's not like one rule for everyone. So really getting up in a high mountain is pretty important. So on top of that, I think the other important source of training is mental training.
Sure.
Because most of the work in high mountains like that is your mental ability to keep going and just embrace the suck throughout the way.
Oh, if I have any blue band friends on here, they'd be happy to see that. For me, at that point, the mental fortitude to choose to keep going is a very important thing to have. I would say less often, but still equally important. And that's just because I usually want to push to the top, but that you also have to know when you're done.
Yes.
And you won't really know where that line is, where that limit is, unless you kind of push yourself a bit beforehand. But to know what to expect, when you get up there and you are out of oxygen, you're frustrated, you're fatigued, you can become more stressed.
Yes.
Very easily by little things that other people do. And to have practice in that environment, or to hike with the people that you're going to hike with, or with the equipment that you're going to hike with, and to be able to experience that stress and really kind of embrace it as a way to figure out how to deal with it in a reasonable manner, is another thing that both you and the people you're hiking with will benefit from. Obviously, people need to become aware of your tendencies when you hike. And same that you need to become aware of theirs as well. So I'd say having a little group of people as well that you hike with, if you're also going to be on the mountain, that you kind of keep those people together and you hike as a unit.
They usually say that at high elevation, everything is amplified. If you're happy, your happiness level is extreme. And if you are angry, your level of being angry is also amplified. So I think it's important to make sure that you're hiking with a group of people and you're gonna stay together, support each other, just to know everyone's character and how they handle the elevation as well. I see that we have a couple of people joining us again, and so thank you. Yeah, a couple of thumbs up. Thank you guys. So let's tackle some of the questions here before we get going. We've got Mark, hike with Mike. Mike has got a question: is Kilimanjaro higher in elevation than Denali,
aka McKinley? I gotta step back. My understanding from last time we talked is no. Feel free to look this up here. I don't want to say that I prepared this, but McKinley I thought was 20,320 feet, if that sounds right. I remember making a statement that they had the polite number patterns, and Kilimanjaro is below 20,000 at that point. Habiba will verify that for me here in a second, but I'm quite positive that Denali is actually higher.
Can you look it up? I can't see anything.
Oh.
I'm totally blind, sorry.
Denali elevation.
Yeah, I feel like it's something that I should know, but they're very close in numbers.
It's saying 20,310, but I mean, come on, I'm off 10 feet. I'm pretty sure the other one quoted. Maybe there's some snowfall.
And Kili is what?
Oh, Kilimanjaro is 19,000. Kilimanjaro elevation, 19,341.
Okay, so Mount Denali is pretty high, and I think it's not only that. It's not about the elevation of Mount Denali, but Denali is a technical hike. It's not like Kilimanjaro. It's there is a huge difference. Kilimanjaro, an average hiker like ourselves can train, get the necessary gear, and make it up the mountain with some determination and some preparation. But on Mount Denali, it's a very technical hike, and not only that, but you will have to kind of drag all of your equipments, and they usually use sleds to haul everything up the mountain. So it's a pretty difficult hike, and you obviously want to know how to use ice axe, crampons, glacier travel, roping up, and all that type of important stuff. Oh my God, we've got a lot of people today.
So we're saying, Mark's saying Denali is 20,320.
Yeah,
hey, see, I wasn't wrong. That's what I remembered. And
very
then,
cool.
In North America, Kilimanjaro 19,340. Yeah, I think the stuff I looked up there must have been.
It's kind of hard to keep track of all of the numbers, especially because they are very close. So yeah, that's all the type of training for Kilimanjaro. Just to talk a little bit about what we've been up to, we try to go to places with high elevation.
Can I cut there some things in there still,
Sure,
if we're still on the topic? Habib and I went on a hike the other weekend, and forgive me if it sounds like I'm backpedaling. And we just drove right up from where we lived to that place. There was about 11,000 foot difference between where we started and where the top of the mountain was. And we definitely felt ourselves getting some headaches. We were a little concerned at the time. We're like, wow, if that hurts, like, and we're only 12,000 something feet. Like, how are we going to make it to almost 20? And then we went on another trip this past weekend, that was actually higher than that even. And I'm obviously not revealing anything if you hadn't said anything. I don't know.
No, that's fine. I did actually share a picture earlier today. This weekend we summited the highest peak in New Mexico, Wheeler Peak, and it was pretty amazing.
13,000.
13,000.
180, 164, 183, something like that. But anyway, we acclimatized better for this. We camped out in the area, and then we hiked up, and we felt like $1 million. We had a great time on this hike.
Yeah.
And to have the ability when you go out to do those training hikes too, we're already dealing with this. We have jobs, right? And it's kind of weird if we're going to go out and do a big tall hike. We're talking about doing another big one in a bit here. We want to go out there at least a day in advance, at least, to go acclimatize. And the act of training for these things requires an extra day of prep. We're trying to leave on Thursdays, take Friday off, so that we can get a day to prep, then a hike on Saturday perhaps, and then maybe commute home on Sunday. That or you would give up your Monday.
Yeah.
But
so that's kind of just to say that it's important to acclimatize on the mountain. You just don't want to, because on the trail that we did this weekend, I talked to couple of people who were flying from Texas, and Texas is not, you know, just what, 2,000, but we're at 1,600 feet here in Phoenix, so not better than Phoenix, and they just try to climb the mountain and they can't do it. It's a lot of effort because you don't take the time to acclimatize. While if you go, give it a day, for us what we did, we just drove to Albuquerque. Albuquerque is like 4,000 something, and then Santa Fe was like 6,000.
Albuquerque, I think, was in the 5s, and then Santa Fe was in the 7s.
So really just giving yourself the time to acclimatize before going on any high elevation climb is super helpful.
And that's the same as recreating the environment with your equipment, etc. We're not just going to start at sea level and hike all the way up to the top of the mountain in one day. Although it is fun to talk about the records that people have on how fast they can get up and down the mountain. Anyway, yeah, I'm not going to... Anyway, I'll save my bonus recommendation for later.
All right, let's see. Do we have any? Okay, no, I think we're good.
Can I do my bonus one?
Sure.
Alrighty. We like to watch YouTube videos and TV shows about people doing hikes too. I find there are times where I'm sitting down, I'm not hiking. I'm sitting there being, a dude, sitting on the couch. And it's nice to watch some stuff like that from time to time to kind of get you in the zone or a bit excited about it. And could definitely pitch out a few things we watched. What was it? The toughest race. What was it the other day? It was the Eco Challenge. Toughest race was pretty good. The TV show Alone, where people go out there and survive in the wilderness for a long time. But just like other outdoorsy stuff like that, or we'll watch other YouTube channels of people doing some stuff to get some good motivation for places to go. Hopefully watching this with us is a way for you to sometimes stay in contact with that community at large.
Yeah.
So.
Just to stay motivated to train, because the training, it takes effort and it takes time, and sometimes it's difficult to make the time, but we're feeling pretty encouraged and then supported.
And then the thing you've been really crushing down on here lately has also been diet. I mean, if you want to make sure you're going up the mountain, one of the easiest things to do is to not take that extra 20 pounds with you.
Yeah.
And if you can figure out how to shed some of your own body weight on the way up, in a healthy way, mind you, not just through like malnourishment, but that can be to great benefit as well.
Yeah, I've definitely watched some other YouTubers who talk about climbing and how your diet can affect your performance, obviously, and a lot of these people would change their diets, just to make it better before they win the climb and make sure that they get a lot of nutritious food and things like that. So it's been a goal of mine over the past 2 weeks or so to try to lose some weight and clean up my diet as much as I can. And that's another form of training.
And you've been picking some different snacks on the trail too in order to kind of help facilitate that.
Yeah.
As I've been trying those GU packs, goo packs, the little like squeezy things, and I know you don't like Cliff bars. You were trying the RX bars, I think, which somebody had recommended here the other day.
Well, cool. So I think that's about it as far as the training for Kilimanjaro. I don't think we have anything else that we want to touch on, but we've been going for about 19 minutes, and we'll just keep chatting. If you guys have any questions about the climb the last weekend or anything, so we'll just stay here until we exhaust our 30 minutes, and then we'll leave.
Yeah, I'm trying to think the other stuff we were thinking about looking into for the future. I'm just going to kind of drift on topics here, if that's okay. What next, right? Like we're excited about all the other stuff we're going to do on this trip. Don't get me wrong, but we're thinking like, oh man, like if we're doing well on this. We're excited about all the other preparatory hikes we're doing as a result of Kilimanjaro being on our future docket here. What next? And I know Elbrus was one that popped up, and some other things like that, where we're just always looking for where to set the bar after. And it's just exciting. I'm just talking about nothing at this point.
It's definitely, I'm feeling like I'm getting a little bit excited after we did Humphreys Peak and then Wheeler Peak this weekend. I feel like I'm kind of on a roll to want to do the highest peaks of some of the states that are nearby. So I think, I don't know, I don't want to commit to anything yet, but I feel like before getting to Kilimanjaro, if we get to do the highest peak of Colorado, Nevada, and Utah, that would be pretty awesome.
Sure.
I think it will be a great achievement.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
We're super
Appreciate
excited
it.
as well. We're really trying to
Thank
figure
you.
out how to not like make that the only thing we talk about when we go find other
Yeah.
people sometimes. We're very excited about it actually. So
No, but I think for this Monday live stream, I think it was Mark, but I don't remember. Someone suggested that we start doing live stream just about Kilimanjaro, and I think I'm liking it. It's very enjoyable. You can come down to Florida and climb our highest peak, approximately 280 feet. Oh my God.
what was the other one we heard? It was like Louisiana is like something like that as well. I was quite impressed by that actually, that it was just that flat the whole way.
Yeah, it just seems like most of the difficult ones are on our side of the country.
Right. Well, I mean, you got the Appalachians, obviously, going up north.
Katahdin and Washington, Mount Washington.
Right, way up north. Nice, I mean,
yeah.
even like the Pocono or other things like that too. But definitely, Smoky Mountains, Blue Ridge Mountains, West Virginia.
Yeah, I'm really thinking about it. I'm not thinking about it, I just tell Alex all the time. Can you imagine if we just make it to the highest peak of every state? But I just don't have it in me to set that goal or commit to anything yet. So we're just doing whatever we can do right now.
We're at 13,100. I mean, if we can get up to Whitney, you know, I mean, we're doing the tall ones at that point. It's a matter then of expanding, like you were saying earlier, on that technical front, of which we've taken some classes. But it would just be, when we commit to it, we would want to follow through. It's not something that I think we're going to take half-heartedly. So we're just not doing a lot of ice stuff yet, etc., etc.
Awesome. The other thing is Thursday we have our live stream for 2,000 subscribers celebration.
Yeah, there you go.
When we were up on the mountain this weekend on Wheeler Peak in New Mexico, towards the end when we probably had 0.5 mile left, I was checking my phone and I had service, so I just did a quick live stream to say thank you. But obviously I'm really excited because in this Thursday's live stream, we're gonna get together, we're gonna do some giveaways like last time, and then we'll just celebrate 2,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty nice milestone.
So say when we were outside of Albuquerque then, coming home, we did another hike. And I'm going to talk about the comment mark that you have there. We went to, what was it? It was called Cibola. It reminded me of the City of Gold from National Treasure. And it was like this place, it started at 10,500 feet. We drove our car way up there, and then we hiked like 1,000 feet, and then we came back down. And we had a blast, wonderful view, kind of an exciting drive. And we remarked while we were up there, hey, there's this mountain down by us called Mount Graham that we've gone by. And we saw when we were coming back from the Gila Wilderness, which is a little bit closer to the southern route across from Arizona to New Mexico. And we definitely want to go up there. We hear you can drive on top of that mountain. And I'm guessing you could also probably hike up the side, but even for camping.
You can bike too.
Sure.
I heard it's one of the most sought after bike rides in the US.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
It's like top 5 or top 10 best bike rides.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking at the very least, even just for a place close to home to do some cool camping at altitude, Mount Graham definitely was on our list.
Is that the same one you're referring to, Mark? The one in Arizona?
I'm hoping so.
I don't know.
They said it was kind of on the southern portion of, or I guess mid-southern portion of Arizona, in between Phoenix and
Maybe there's another Mount Graham.
New Mexico.
Mike, I will be using the Mountain House meal I won this weekend when I'm out camping in the backcountry. Awesome.
Oh,
Very cool.
yeah. Which one did you get? You got was it Alfredo or lasagna?
I got in the lasagna. I think the lasagna.
It was lasagna. Okay.
Yeah, because the Nishita was vegan.
Right.
I think Nishita, I sent her
Lasagna.
Thai curry. Lasagna, yes. That's my favorite. I was like, you know what? If you don't have any dietary restrictions, I'm sending the lasagna. That's my favorite one too.
I'll tell you what we have learned though, even when
Liking.
we were doing Humphreys and such too. I can't say we do it all the time, but how much longer it takes to wait for your food to cook at altitude. We're like, oh God, those mountain house meals and such take like 15 minutes already when you're down there. Now you're like, oh God, I'm up at 12,000 feet. I got to sit here for a half an hour just to wait for my food to